You either die a hero, or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
It's fried plantain. Is
Fried plantain.
Oh, he has 13,000 subscribers.
YouTube is full of gossipy men who fail at YouTube. And this is what's even sadder about these gossipy men who fail at YouTube. This is what's worse. They use pictures of the people everybody want to watch and see. So let me get this right. You failed in school. You failed in the real world at a job. So if you know what you're doing with YouTube, you can make money. If you know what you're doing, and if you got the it to necessarily pull it off, how much of a failure must you be to start your video off with a picture of a person who hasn't failed and you still fail at YouTube? This has got to be the worst thing in the world. There are people who consistently put a picture up of somebody who hasn't failed, and they fail. This is my channel. No, it's not your channel.
There's a strange point every commentator eventually reaches if they stay in this game long enough. At first, you're just watching the circus, then one day, the clown points back at you. That is basically what has happened here. On the latest 5150 show, Corey Holcomb went on one of his familiar rants about YouTube commentators, gossip channels, failed creators, and people living through other people's names. And tucked inside that rant was a very obvious shot at channels that begin their videos with a picture of the person they're talking about. I'm sorry, I apologize. In other words, yes, Corey has now indirectly fired shots at me too. And honestly, that is both ridiculous and weirdly poetic. Because one of the last videos I made on all of this had Darnell Rawlings in the comments showing love to my style. And of course, prior to that, Yamanika was there showing love to my style. You know, quite a few of these comedians have reached out. I don't know what's happening, guys. I'm not trying to take anyone down. I'm simply an observer. A journalist, if you will.
I'm the radio guy. Why pull up on the radio guy? Don't act tough with the radio guy.
I hate my nigga.
Naturally, considering the Corey and Darnell tension, it makes sense that I would end up as collateral damage. The commentator of the drama has now become part of the drama. Now, to be fair, some Corey fans will probably say I deserve it. They'll say if you talk about a man long enough, eventually he talks back. Fair enough. But what Corey probably doesn't understand is that I'm not one of these people who just discovered him last week and decided to farm outrage. I've reacted to Corey for a long time now. I've spoken about his comedy, his podcast, his place in the wider comedy world, and I even defended him before in regards to this whole situation involving, past controversies. In fact, I got ripped for defending him. People unsubscribed. I've caught heat from all directions depending on who I was talking about that week. So if Corey thinks I'm just another random hater who appeared out of the algorithm to bring him down, I'm sorry, that's simply not true. A lot of people have been going in on Corey Holcomb. People have no chill when it comes to this guy. And it's a shame because say what you want, but Corey Holcomb is a bloody pillar when it comes to this ghetto black humor.
My show was always for the people. I never hustled my show. I never made video after video to try and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna show you this part of the conversation.
To be honest, he's not telling lies. He's not telling lies. Corey Holcomb is a comedian. This podcast has lasted for 10 plus years. And in the beginning, he wasn't even monetizing. So he wasn't doing it for money. He was doing it simply to get his own message out. So you can't really call Corey Holcomb a grifter. Corey Holcomb is the type of comedian. He comes from a different school, man. He's older than me. He's older than quite a few of the YouTubers who are posting clips about him. He comes from a different school where you would say the most outlandish, disparaging thing to trigger someone, to trigger you. A lot of comedians come from that school of thought, which is, I'm going to say some heinous shit to make you uncomfortable. For a lot of comedians, making you uncomfortable is the primary objective. It's not to make you laugh, it's to make you uncomfortable. And I've watched all kinds of comedians going back to like the 60s, man. I've heard some racist comedians say some heinous shit, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. It makes me feel very uncomfortable. And I'll be looking around. Why is everyone else laughing? That is comedy. Comedy is walking that line. It's walking that plank. It's pushing people off the bloody plank, guys. Comedy can be very scary. Now, in your opinion, perhaps comedy shouldn't be like that. But for a lot of people, comedy is like that. So just bear that in mind. Let's continue. He's disgusted by the idea that certain creators use pictures of successful people in thumbnails and video intros while not being successful themselves. He looks at it almost like theft. In his eyes, these are failed men who couldn't make it in school, couldn't make it in the real world, and now can't even make YouTube work despite using the faces of people who actually did something with their lives.
This world has changed, Darlene. And I'm talking about in the last 6 months. I'm talking about there's a shift in the world that has become very concerning. I don't know what I'm gonna do about my YouTube. Do you know what my algorithm mainly consists of?
No, what?
Gossipy bitch niggas.
Well, maybe it's attached because of the one guest. I don't know.
What is the one guest? Oh,
That, I
that
got
too, but this is what I'm saying.
that's
It's
probably
not
what
just that.
I was gonna say that's probably what connected it though and started it though.
When I look at the state of black YouTube, I'm ashamed. We only tear each other down, and this is what I'm saying. Let me make sure I make the difference. Like 50 Cent and T.I., they going at it, right?
Yeah.
It's different because they're both titans. 50 Cent is good at what he does when it comes to trolling people. T.I. is a great rapper. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. These people are certified, if you ask me. So if something has happened between 50 and T.I., all I do is pray that it just turns into something where later on in life, they be like, yeah, we was going at it at one time, but we good now.
Right.
You get what I'm saying when I say that?
He mocks the idea of creators using famous faces, AI images, or the visual identity of more successful people just to try to hold attention a little longer.
This is my channel. No, it's not your channel. You use pictures of people. Of course, now they'll take an AI picture of you, D.
Oh yeah.
They'll take an AI picture of somebody who's famous, who's found a way, and put that picture up there so they can stay on there longer, because YouTube is getting rid of a lot of AI. A lot of AI stuff gets filtered off in some of these things. But I'm saying, like, how do you fail as an algorithm whore and you got the picture up of the people that's popping? You know what that means? That means your commentary isn't worth nothing.
And some people are really good at it, though. You go, oh, okay, they had it. They have the charisma.
I just don't understand how but look, attention. There are some people who would not have no attention. The 92 people who watch their video gives them the drive to keep talking because somebody's listening. I get it. It's a lonely world. It's a lonely, lonely world. And some of these guys, you can tell they don't have that it where when they're in the world, they can pull the type of beautiful things that somebody who popping can pull. Let me make sure I say that right. There are men in this world who can come out in two-tone cowboy hats and still win.
Now, obviously, I know what he means, but I also think he's missing something important. The picture intro thing that I do, it's not me trying to steal greatness from anybody. It's supposed to be artistic, a little different. Clearly, I'm a big fan of movies. I try to make my intro cinematic and engaging. That's all it is, Corey. It's style, not deception. I'm not pretending Corey Holcomb's face is my talent. That would be stupid. I'm using an image to introduce a topic the same way documentaries, magazines, and even comedy channels have been doing forever. For someone who loves calling everybody else sensitive, Corey can be very sensitive when the commentary turns back on him. That's what stood out most in the rants. He talks about successful people versus failures, popping people versus flops, elites versus algorithm whores, but underneath all of it, you can hear irritation. Real, serious irritation. He sounds bothered by the fact that people with smaller audiences are talking about him at all.
But there are men in this world who, no matter what they do, they keep flopping. And they will put effort into trying to put up the picture of those who are popping. And most of them shame you. They shame you because this is their chance in life to do or say something about somebody that's popping. Because to be popping out here, it's just not an easy thing to do. It is scary. Thinking about trying to get to the level where it's popping for you. Some of us put in work, some of us have fortune. Darlene, when she was young.
Here we go.
I mean, I'm just giving it to you real.
Okay.
When Darlene was young, she stood out enough where the great Ice-T chose her and combined forces with her, put her on his album covers.
Plural S covers.
Do you know how many bitches wish they could do that?
2 covers. Right, huh?
2 covers, that's right. Do you know how many of these women out here in the algorithm don't like you because they will never be on nobody album cover because they not built to be on an album cover. Even with the wig they wear like it's theirs. They will never pop like that.
He keeps returning to this idea that if you aren't popping, then your opinion shouldn't matter. That's a dangerous way to think, not just because it's arrogant, but because it reduces all criticism to jealousy. Like I said, mate, it's simply journalism. That's what I'm doing. It's a new world, Corey. You have commentators on YouTube talking about these comedians. It's all part of this wider ecosystem. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Not every commentator is bitter because they aren't on television. Not every creator talking about comedy drama secretly wishes they had your life. Some people are just observers. Some people are just critics. I'm literally observing the comedy world and I'm talking about it. You know, I'm impartial. I stay in the middle. I'm going to talk about the bad. I'm going to talk about the good. I've had people unsubscribe from my channel because of it. I've had people try to take me down because of it. Literally, after I made that Bill Burr video, people were trying to take me down just because of my opinion. No one's getting hurt here. No one's getting physically punched or attacked. We just got to learn how to relax. Some people are critics. Some people are building media in a different lane. And yes, some people are trash. That comes with the internet. But to lump everybody together just because they have something to say about you is too easy. It's also a little funny coming from Corey because one of the things he has always prided himself on is saying what he wants about other people. He can break down their careers, their looks, their personal lives, their fashion, their relationships, their manhood, their womanhood, whatever he wants. That's his whole thing. So the second that some of that energy comes back his way, I can't even do this because there is a level of hypocrisy. There is a slight level of hypocrisy. Come on, man.
The only thing they've done to get attention is talk about the people that's popping. Darlene, you've been in movies just because of your association with the brother Ice-T. Am I right?
Very cool. Yes, that was very.
No matter what, there was a time in your life where you was living on a mansion on Sunset. Am I right?
Yes. 2 mansions, one lower and then one higher, yeah.
You said 2 mansions. Don't be shy.
I'm telling you, I am
Darlene,
very grateful, and I cherish my,
what you have accomplished. I'm talking about most of the algorithm whores would give their right and left leg to accomplish that. I seen this fat bitch comic. I know she want her name to be part of this so bad, but it'll never be part of this. Get your baby, bitch. Get your baby, bitch. I know who you are. We'll never say your trash ass name. It ain't a man in this world gonna give you an album cover. Now, I ain't gonna lie. He might give you some money to go up against another black woman in court, which I know about that, but we ain't gonna even get into that because it's too many haters. Darlene, these people who come at you talking about what you supposed to say and all that, I'm telling you, nobody will ever put them in mansions. They won't even put them in mentions. Because you're not one of the elites.
And again, I say this as somebody who was genuinely a fan, because once you're on the receiving end of the same energy he throws at other people, it does force you to look at him differently. It doesn't make me hate the man. It doesn't suddenly erase the years of watching him or laughing at certain things he said. But it does make me step back and ask whether this current version of Corey Holcomb is too consumed by the negativity that he himself claims to rise above. He says YouTube is full of lonely men who can't pull attention in the real world, so they attach themselves to people who can. He says some of these men are old enough to know better, living failed lifestyles, trying to knock down a black man they don't even know. He contrasts that with his own, and to be honest, that part of the run is powerful in its own way.
Let's go to Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb, black man from the projects, found his way through life without an extensive criminal history, even though you grew up in the thick of it. Some of your friends are the criminals that everybody would be afraid of. A black man who has done stand-up comedy coming from Chicago's underground. I'm talking about $50, $100 shows. That's where I come from. Move out of here to L.A. Got a $300,000 TV deal his first year out here. Next year, another $300,000. Next year, they gave me $150,000. They started playing me a little bit. I was at these awards that everybody go to, Grammys, all that, but I didn't feel I fit in because there were things that I wasn't willing to compromise. Fast forward today, a self-made brother who used his connections that he got along the way to create a lane for himself as a stand-up comedian, also do a show. Where's poppin'? It's poppin'.
On paper, that's a real story of survival and grit. He's not wrong to be proud of that. But success doesn't mean immunity from criticism, man. I mean, whoa, we're not children here. We're not babies. Because he came from the mud, because he built something, because he refused certain compromises, because he is popping, anybody below a certain level is automatically disqualified from evaluating him. That mindset can easily turn into a bubble. A man starts believing that the only people allowed to judge him are people at his exact height, and suddenly everyone else becomes irrelevant or jealous by default. That's not strength. That's ego protection. And it also overlooks something about the current comedy world. Commentary is part of the ecosystem. Podcasts react to podcasts. Comedians react to comedians. Clip channels react to stand-up. Fans react to the fan reaction. Nobody is above it. Nobody is outside it. It's all one giant loop. Corey doesn't have to like that, but pretending it's beneath him while clearly being bothered by it only makes it look like it's getting to him more than he wants to admit. That's really my main response to Corey. It's not that deep. It's never been that deep. YouTube failure shouldn't bother you this much. If all these little channels are beneath you, then why are you so emotionally invested? Why are you giving speeches about them? Why are you studying the thumbnail structure? Why are you breaking down the psychology of people with 92 views? Why is any of this moving you at all? A man who has genuinely succeeded in comedy, built a following, made a lane for himself, and survived this long should not be getting this worked up about commentary channels. It comes with the territory. It is part of the mess now. It is part of the bloody game, man.
This algorithm is not full of talented people showing off talent. I have to keep punching in music I might want to see. The Tiny Desk concerts.
Yes.
I have to keep punching in the stuff worth watching.
Because the other one's coming.
But the trash coming from career failures. I'm talking about these men are not all young men. Some of these men really have had career failure lifestyles that they just act like they have credibility to talk. But there's 150 people and you're doing this consistently trying to knock down a black man you don't know. Now, you know what would be disheartening to me, D?
What would be?
If there was this many people that I knew talking bad about me, I would step back and say, wait. Am I that guy? But the truth is, almost all these people who ain't popping got something to say about us who are popping. Listen, one of these dirt bags, I call it Monkey K.
Relax, Corey. You gotta relax. You gotta relax. And I say this without malice because I'm not here to take him down. I'm not here to take anyone down. I'm not here to join a mob and chant his name into a scandal. I'm not trying to destroy this man's life, cancel him, or pretend I'm morally pure while he is evil. That has never really been my lane. I critique, I observe, I analyze. Sometimes I defend, sometimes I question, sometimes I get it wrong, but I'm equal opportunities when it comes to comedians and this podcast comedy world. If Bill Burr does something strange, I'll talk about it. If I feel like the Bill Burr critique has gone too far, I'll talk about it. And naturally, people are going to hate me for it. But that's what I do. That's my job. That's my position. If Schaub does something odd, I'll talk about it. If Luis J. Gomez, Yamanika, Darnell, Aries, the list goes on and on. Whoever does something worth discussing, I'll discuss it because that's what this bloody channel is about. So for Corey to reduce that to gossipy failed men is flattering in a backhanded way because it means he's watching. It means something reached him. It means the commentary, however small, however beneath him, got under the skin enough to register. And maybe that's the real story here. Not that Corey Holcomb roasted another commentator, not that I've become part of the saga, but that a man who built his whole identity on being unfiltered and unbothered is showing signs that the noise is getting louder and louder around him.
I root for entertainers, people that you can cut on and see something that's worth watching. Gossiping men are the same thing as 15 roaches run across the kitchen floor when you cut the light on. There's no different than them. Roaches run across the floor when you cut the light on, because I come from that, and gossipy men are the same thing. And when I say gossipy men, I'm talking about men who sit around literally, do nothing but gossip about everybody who popping. I'm watching everything that's happening on the internet. I was talking about how negative my algorithm is. Right. They talking about, and I've said something about this brother, but not to bring him down and destroy him, but they're talking about Charlamagne in the Breakfast Club. Now, Charlamagne been popping for how long? How long has been popping over there?
15 years, I think, because they're under us. The Breakfast Club is.
Okay.
I think it's, yeah.
And when something happened where they finally think you down.
A commentator talking about a man who is now talking about the commentator talking about him. It's cyclical, guys. A dream within a dream, inception. Deep down, I don't even think Corey really hates commentators. I think he hates the feeling of being observed when the observation is no longer flattering. He doesn't mind attention, he minds the kind of attention he can't control. That's the difference. And maybe that's why this whole thing feels so strange. Because the man who spent years watching everybody else is now clearly aware that people are watching him right back.